가는 있는 아주 때리지 않네. 되는 이것이 싫더라. 다들 머리에 파자고 왕게 나랑도야. 머리에 달래가 왕게. 아니 되는 거는 이것이 나요 마도 나도 뭐도 타서 이거지. 가려서 때는 다 그러나. 딱 그렇게 할래요. 그래서 저 둘이 쪼도 되셔. 어떤지 인도 때 남주동이 동반이 있으려나 근데 남아서 고순 남들 고순세니 드라마에 되는데 상으로 셔야 돼요. 근데 다 그거서 근데 무슨 일이라고 동반이 있으면 책이 셔야 돼요. 다 땡중의 대권은 있으려나 다 뭐가 대난전에 민장 따로 잠마도 되는 문제 줄을 떠네 아니 땡중 거 참고도 갈래는데 대지 다녀도 양서 미시 오메베 시바고 딱딱 거고 땡중의 대권은이다. 땡중의 동반이 땡중의 대권은 있으려나 어떤 책이 다가면서 상게 좀 나와져서 저는 좀 쇼쇼.
So similarly, in one of the sutras, Buddha states that that which has arisen in dependence, that which has arisen due to its conditions, is unborn, and because it is devoid of inherent arising, and therefore that which is dependent upon conditions has been described to be empty. So the point Buddha is making here is that anything that comes into being as a result of dependence upon other conditions does not possess a nature that accords it independence. So therefore, the very fact of all phenomena of not being independent in that manner is what is meant by emptiness. So in other words, that which has come into being independent upon other factors, by virtue of that very fact, empty of inherent existence, empty of independent existence. And because if things exist by virtue of their own power, then there is no need for them to depend upon other factors for them to come into being. So independence and dependence upon other factors for their arising are two mutually exclusive facts. So therefore, and similarly, in Nagarjuna's Fundamental Wisdom of the Middle Way, in chapter 24, which by the way is the most important chapter of that text of Nagarjuna, Mula Madhyama Karika, where he says that that which is dependently originated, that has been taught to be empty, and that is dependently designated, and this is the true middle way. So here Nagarjuna is again explaining the meaning of emptiness in terms of dependent origination. So his explanation of emptiness is not purely by pointing out the fact that when you search for some kind of essence to things, that nothing could be found. That unfindability of the essence when you search for their reality is not the full meaning of emptiness. So therefore, immediately after that verse, Nagarjuna says that therefore there isn't that which is not, nothing exists that which is not dependently originated, and nothing exists that which is not empty. So again, he equates both the dependent origination and emptiness. And then, so therefore, if you look at the various reasonings that are proposed in this text for assisting us to arrive at the understanding of emptiness, there are reasoning that uses the absence of identity and difference. There is the fivefold reasoning of analysis of the concept of person. There is the sevenfold analysis of the concept of person, all of which points towards the fact that when you try to search for the essence of whatever it is, whether it is person or anything, by inquiring into whether it is identical with the basis upon which the designation is given, whether it is independent and so on, through these various ways, then you get to a point where you cannot find what you are seeking. However, this does not fully exhaust the meaning of what is meant by emptiness, because to fully arrive at the understanding of emptiness, one has to understand emptiness in terms of dependent origination. So emptiness simply does not mean nothing exists in the way in which we think they do. The full understanding of emptiness must also contain within it an understanding of their interdependent reality, which is the actual reality. Therefore, in Nagarjuna's precious garland, Ratnavali, he analyzes the concept of person, and he says that the person is neither the earth element, nor the water element, the fire element, and wind element, and so on, which are the individual constituents of the body. And then, yet, apart from these, where is the person? And then he concludes with the final line where he says that a person emerges through the aggregation of these elements. So then the concept of emergence through dependence is presented in this final line. So Nagarjuna is pointing that meaning of emptiness is not simply the negation of their existence, but rather must also contain in it the understanding of their emergence in, by means of dependent nature. So when we, although that is the case, but when we relate to the world, whether it is the person or any phenomena, internal or external, when we perceive them in our naive understanding of the world, we tend to perceive them as if they possess some kind of objective reality from their own side, whether it is a person or whatever. We do not perceive them as this mere nominal reality that has emerged through this interaction of many factors. Rather, we act as if whatever it is that we are perceiving enjoys a status of existence that is objective, coming from its own side. It has its own essence, and it is this grasping that leads to all sorts of distortions. So therefore, dependent origination, understanding the dependent origination, therefore, is presented in Nagarjuna's teachings as the highest method for arriving at the understanding of the meaning of emptiness. So, and this is captured in this particular expression here, appearance of the profound.
다 대대 첩지 코르기 의는 주베 주소하고 전에시 경 수지 파도 침법 전에다 수지 파도 침법 선무 수잔에 하다 동유도에 싫어 동유도에 싫어 탕 선무 잡아 수잔에 패지 수지 파도 침법 줘야기 다양 특히 차네 장주심 또 고야래 드리 민주산에 장주심 대신에 잡아 대로 숨지기 답해지 단동 규모대로 제도의 단동 규모대로 다 독립공야 소리지 그동안 드리 지금 안에 주시는 거로다 다들 실부 다 올라가 나버려 다 거기서 올라가 나버는 지진다도 숨기하러 지수는 나버 체제 드리 민주산에 아들 냠지 제가 때문에 내가 계절와 내용하고 자 드리 민주산에 제도 규모대로 냠는게 땡내도 주시는 안에 수도 와 자 드리 민주산에 거기서 우주 수리 바로도 침바 삼을 줘봐 니는 나버 다신 냠샤 나버 밑도에 띵인지 짱짱짱도 좀 해보자 다 단도 규모대로 된대기 다 제도 규모의 냠시든지 타네 아니 풍문하고 되다 라야 러시아 동안 나오스 다 풍문하고 대천에 다 샤미 차비교에 예지 감에 대탐제 아니 모니도 동 아니 또 공제 슈리스 대내 산지 유튜브 제도 셔리프 진술로서 좀 하고 전에 원수라 되게 좀 해서